My father was born and raised in a small valley deep in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, a part of the legendary Appalachian range. When my grandparents passed away, the house became my father's, but none of us wanted to live there. It was too remote, too disconnected from the modern world. In the summer of 2020, I, with the confidence of a 19-year-old kid, volunteered to go up there alone for a few days to clean up and check on the property before the family put it up for sale. The drive-in was like a journey back in time. The major highways gave way to winding country roads and finally just a single gravel path leading to an old wooden house. The air here was thick and humid, the incessant drone of cicadas forming a nearly impenetrable wall of sound. The silence here wasn't peaceful, it had weight, an ancient stillness that seemed to watch my every move. Right before I left, my dad called me. His voice was unusually serious. "Ben," he said, "you can clean up whatever you want, but listen to me. Don't go into the old shed at the edge of the property, just leave it be." "Why, Dad?" I asked. "Is there something in it?" "It's about to collapse, it's dangerous," he replied. But I felt that wasn't the real reason. "Your grandfather never went in there, neither did I. It's just a family rule, just leave it alone." That mysterious warning only made me more curious. The old shed, its wooden walls rotten and blackened by time, stood sunken between the edge of the garden and the dense wall of the forest. It looked like a dying tooth in the mouth of the valley. For the first 2 days, I tried to ignore it, focusing on cleaning the house. But my eyes were always unconsciously drawn to it. It was like a secret beckoning me. On the final afternoon, when my work was nearly done, I couldn't resist any longer. "Just a quick look," I told myself. "What's the harm?" I walked through the waist-high grass towards the shed. The sound of the cicadas seemed to die down as I got closer, leaving only the sound of my own heartbeat. The rickety wooden door had no lock, only a wooden bar laid across it. I lifted the bar and pushed the door with all my might. It let out a horrifying screech and opened just a crack. A wave of stagnant air, thick with the smell of damp earth and mold, rushed out. Holding my breath, I squeezed myself inside. It was darker than I expected. Rays of sunlight could only penetrate through a few holes in the roof and walls, creating beams of light that hung in the dusty air. The floor was just packed earth. And on that dirt floor were the strange things. Dozens, maybe hundreds of small stick figures made from dry twigs tied together with vines. They were arranged carefully in concentric circles, all facing a large, moss-covered rock in the very center. The sight wasn't scary in a ghostly way. It was scary in a different way. It felt ancient, ritualistic, and completely out of place. This wasn't a child's game. It had some purpose I couldn't comprehend. I shivered, a deep sense of unease washing over me. I slowly backed away, intending to leave. In that exact moment, a horrific boom erupted right behind me. The heavy shed door had slammed shut on its own, plunging me into near-total darkness. The sound wasn't like it had been blown by the wind. It was like it had been slammed shut with violent anger by an invisible hand. I panicked, lunging at the door and trying to push it open, but it was stuck fast, as if someone had placed the bar back on the outside. I screamed, "Help! Is anyone out there?" But only the distorted echo of my own voice answered me in the cramped space. Through the small crack under the door, I could see the daylight fading. I was trapped. Fear began to eat away at my sanity. I was locked in a rotting wooden box in the middle of nowhere, and nobody knew I was here. I rammed my shoulder into the door, kicked it, but it was useless. The door didn't even budge. As total darkness fell, I started to hear the sounds from outside. Whispers. They were faint at first, like wind rustling through the leaves. But then they grew clearer. Many different voices, men and women, old and young, whispering in a language I couldn't understand. Hissing, clicking sounds, nothing like a human language. They came from all directions, surrounding the shed. Then I heard footsteps, many of them walking on the dry leaves. They weren't approaching me. They were circling the shed in a steady, slow rhythm. A silent parade in the night. I huddled in the darkest corner, my hands gripping a rusty old shovel, the only weapon I had. My heart was racing, all I could do was pray. After a while, I summoned all my courage, tiptoed to the wooden wall, and found a knothole to peek through. I put my eye to the hole, and what I saw made the blood in my veins run cold. In the dim moonlight, I saw them, figures moving, so many of them. They weren't people. They were unnaturally tall and thin with long, dangling arms. They wore no clothes, only a pale, glowing white skin. And as one of them turned its head, I saw its eyes, two faint, glowing red points of light, like embers burning in its dark eye sockets. I quickly pulled back, my back pressed against the wall, trying not to make a sound. I didn't dare look again. I just sat there and listened. The whispering and the steady footsteps didn't stop all night. They never tried to get in. They just circled like guards watching over a prison or a temple. That entire night was torture. I didn't dare to close my eyes for a second. I sat there in the suffocating darkness of the shed, listening to the horrifying symphony of the things outside. I waited for them to break down the door and rush in, but they never did. They just walked and whispered, an endless vigil. As the first rays of dawn began to filter through the cracks in the roof, a change occurred. The whispers and footsteps slowly grew fainter, then fell silent, as if they had melted away with the darkness. Silence returned, but this time it was even more terrifying. I sat motionless, not daring to move, just waiting. When the sun was high, shining brightly on the garden, only then did I dare to stand up. Trembling, I approached the door. I had prepared myself to use all my strength. I placed my hand on it and pushed gently, and it swung open, effortlessly, without any resistance. The wooden bar was lying neatly on the ground outside. I didn't look back. I didn't care about the stick figures anymore. I bolted from the shed, ran for my life back to the house, grabbed my car keys and wallet, and sped away. On the highway, I called my dad. "I'm finished cleaning," I lied, my voice still shaking. "You can call the realtor to sell the house now." I never told him the truth. He wouldn't believe me, and I didn't want to know if he knew anything about those things. But that question still haunts me to this day. My father's warning. Don't go in there, it's dangerous. But dangerous for whom? Dangerous for me, or was my presence the danger to them? Was that shed not a warehouse, but a cage? A place used to lock something in? Or was it a temple and those stick figures were offerings? And had I, with my foolish curiosity, desecrated their sacred place? I will never have the answer. But every night in my safe apartment in the middle of the city, I can't help but glance out my window into the darkness. And I always wonder if tonight there are any figures with glowing red eyes, silently circling my building.